wonderful. It's such a memorable occasion, and what is so amazing to me is that people still remember Sir Stan. I mean, it's 15 years since he died. I mean, so it's really wonderful. I remember such exciting times. I was lucky because with him playing into an old age of 50, I was kind of grown up and he was still playing. And I remember his particular thing at Blackpool. He loved Blackpool. He loved the beach and the sea. And every morning he was on the beach at 7 o'clock, every morning. Different speeds, sprints, walks, jogs. And that was part of his routine before the training. And
of course, Stan was a fitness fanatic. He kept a regular training. And, you know, if anybody said to him, do this, and it wasn't in his training list, he wouldn't do it. But he was a lovely man. Never swore, like me. And he was very friendly. He was always an individual, and he could win games. Because in the old days, when the balls got wet, it was pure leather, and they were heavy. So, but Stan still managed to get the ball across. He saw Mortensen in the middle, slightly curving away from the goalkeeper. Morty Head, lovely.
He had more influence on my career when I was young than anybody else, including the managers and the trainers, because he used to come and, you know, say to me, if you're going to be an international, you've got to do this and you've got to do that. But he taught me about self-discipline on the field. Just good players really should never get booked. And the other thing was too, physical fitness. When I was getting the ball, all I had to do was give the ball 10 yards to Stan. And everybody said, you know, what a good pass. But he could make an ordinary pass into a good one, you know. He was as good as that. I mean, some people have asked me, would he be like today? Well, you could only say that he'd be good because of what he was, plus the fact he was a tough competitor.
I always thought I was a tricky winger, but, you know, people call me Tricky Trev, but he was the original tricky man on the wing. And, yeah, I used to watch videos of him usually, you know, before the game and just think what an amazing player he was. And he was full of, you know, full of excitement. He was always, you know, creative, trying to create things. And I don't think he was a fantastically high-scoring player, but he just loved to get down to that byline and put crosses in. And, you know, a lot of my game was based on that. I've always watched footage of Sir Stanley Matthews. You always try and look at players of the past and the history and players that have been successful in your position to try and learn the art of your specific position, and that's something I did. And, you know, I do feel like I learnt things from him, and some of the things where he was so professional, and I wish in my era, because it was a slightly different era, I could have been more professional, but he was before his time, and I'm sure he'd feel very comfortable with the players in today's day.
this is really great. This is Stan's legacy, because, as you probably know, he coached all over the world, youngsters in America, Australia, Canada, Malta, all over the world. He was very fond of developing youngsters through sport. And so by doing this with the Sir Stanley Matthews Foundation, we are really carrying on his legacy, and we've helped thousands of young people to take more part in sport. They don't necessarily have to be stars. We just want them to enjoy themselves and get a focus on life, because let's face it, sport gives you life skills. You know, it's not only physical and academically, but it's fair-mindedness, sportsmanship, working with people. So we believe it's a very big part of the development of our children.